What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, let's go to Churchill Downs for race 10 on Saturday, May 31st. It's the Blame Stakes, grade 3 event going a mile and an eighth, $275,000 the purse. It's a field of 10, and it is a hell of a field. I think this drew extremely well. One of the best versions of the Blame Stakes, if not the best ever. I'll put the field up on the screen now. We'll go through them one by one. We'll try to pick a winner here. Tough race, a good race. It should be very exciting. Katona, the number 1 horse, will kick us off. And this is one that I don't think has much of a chance. 3 straight races where he's just kind of been blown out. Now, they've been against tough company. The Ali Sheba was obviously very tough. Went over to round in the Dubai World Cup. Obviously tough race. Santa Anita handicap. But look, hasn't been close. Hasn't been close in a while. Not for me here. I'm going to pass on Katona in this spot today. The number 2 horse is Alexander Helios. Pretty nice horse here, but last time out did get 5th, beaten 10 3/4 there at Oaklawn Park in the Oaklawn handicap. 2 races back, though, did win the Razorback, a grade 3 event, and did win an allowance race at Gulfstream the race before that. So you look at this horse's resume, ton of wins, ton of on the board finishes, just a horse that shows up and runs consistently well each and every time. And that outlier really is that Oaklawn handicap last time out. Now, unfortunately, you hate to come off that race to this race against a tough field once again. If it's not, it's just as tough, if not tougher this time around. So that's the bad news. But look, I think the horse will run a little bit better. I think he'll get back into a little bit of form today. I'm not going to play him to win or play him on top, or on top of any exactas or anything. But I do think shows up with a little bit of a chance. So number 3 is Antiquarian, and I think he's very interesting. If that name sounds familiar, that's because he did, try to make a little bit of an impact last year in the Triple Crown. He won the Peter Pan. He did run in the Belmont Stakes where he was 5th, beaten 7.5. He comes back in for 2025 in an allowance race last time out, going 7 furlongs at Gulfstream Park. And a pretty, just a professional effort gets the job done. Stretching back out to a mile and an eighth here, going back into stakes company as well. But this horse is pretty darn good. And I think he's classy enough to maybe make a little bit of a race of it here. I'm not going to play him in this spot. Wouldn't be shocked, though, if he shows up and runs big. I think we've got big races down the road for this horse. I don't know if it's going to be in this spot. We'll have to just kind of see as we go along. The number 4 is Mystik Dan, a horse that, to be quite honest, I'd kind of written off. So obviously won the Kentucky Derby. Last year, obviously the highlight of his career. He's had some big races. Then it just didn't go very well. He ran okay to run 2nd in the Preakness. That wasn't a problem. But then he was 8th in the Belmont. He went to the Malibu where he was a well-beaten 6th. He went to the Pegasus World Cup where he was a well-beaten 9th. And I'd kind of said, you know what, I just kind of think he's done. Well, last time out, he shows up at Oaklawn Park and runs in the Lake of Ouachita Stakes. Almost won it. Got beat only a nose. 2nd by a nose. Defeated by Saudi Crown that day. It was a battle. Go back and watch that thing. It looks like Mystik Dan's going to get there. So is he back? Yeah, maybe. He did have a couple of nice workouts leading up to that race. He had a nice workout on May 24th. I ask it again. Is he back? Could we play him in a pick 4 or pick 5? I think maybe if he can run that kind of race again, I think it puts him in here. I'm not going to play him to win. It'll be kind of a decision, and I'm building the ticket out and looking at the other races, what I do here. But if I can go deep, maybe he's on the ticket. And that's good because it looked like he was pretty much done. And now, hey, we can at least say, hey, there's a Derby winner out there running, and maybe he can get a win, which would be very different from some of the other winners recently of that race. All right, let's go to the number 5 best actor next. This horse coming in off back-to-back poor efforts to start his 2025 campaign. Ran in the Commonwealth and got 9th, and then stretched out to a mile last time out to run in the Knicks Go overnight and got 8th. Multiple lengths defeated in all those races. He has not been good the last 4 if you go back to last year as well. I don't know what's left in the tank for this one. This is a race where he's got to get it turned around. I don't think it's going to be today. I don't like this one much at all. The number 6 is Hall of Fame. I do like him quite a bit. A horse that won 3 straight races after coming back off of a long layoff. Now 2 races back, did lose the New Orleans handicap to Touch Upon a Star. Got beat 2.5 that day. Not a bad effort, though. Still ran okay. And then last time out, 3rd in the Ali Sheba, beaten 4 1/4, but we're beaten by Fierceness and Most Wanted. 2 very good horses. Now, the bad news is Most Wanted is entered back in this race today. So, you're going to have to turn the tables on him there. But no disgrace losing to Fierceness. Speaking of Most Wanted, let's talk about him next. The number 7 Most Wanted coming off back-to-back second place efforts. Well, I should say back-to-back second place efforts. So his story arc is pretty easy to follow. 4 straight wins as a 3-year-old. He won the Ellis Park Derby. He also won the Oklahoma Derby. So he's kind of taking the weaker races there and running in those as a 3-year-old. He ends his 3-year-old campaign running in the Clark against older horses. He gets second, only beaten 3/4 of a length. He darn near got the job done there. A little bit of a layoff, came back to run second, beating a length and a quarter to Skippy Longstocking in the Challenger Stakes. I thought that was a very good effort. And then the effort of his career last time out. He finishes second, beating a length and a half to Fierceness. And Fierceness, a horse that would be very heavily bet if he was in the blame this year. And he kind of gave Fierceness backers, me being one of them, a little bit of a scare because it looked like he was going to be a tough customer to pass. And ultimately, he was a tough customer to pass. But he could not beat Fierceness. But look, that was a very good effort there. And so, like I said, I like Hall of Fame quite a bit. He was well clear of Hall of Fame in that race. How do we turn it around today? That's going to be the big question for Hall of Fame. That's not the question for Most Wanted. Like him quite a bit in this spot. All right, let's talk about the horse that I think is the overall best horse in the race, and that is the number 8, Banishing, with one big problem, and it is the distance. So let's look at Banishing since November 23rd. Let's look at that. 7 furlong allowance race at this track, win. Allowance race going 6 furlongs at Oaklawn, win. Stakes race going 6 furlongs at Oaklawn, win. And each race more impressive than the last. Then let's go to the Razorback that was the start that he lost to Alexander Helios. What was the problem? He stretched out to a mile 16th, and he got beat. Cut him back to a mile, and the next start, the Oaklawn Mile, he wins, and he beats Saudi Crown by a length. Stretch him out to a mile and an eighth next for the Oaklawn Handicap, he gets beaten 2 lengths there, and then cut him back to 7 furlongs last time out. He dead heats for second in the Churchill Downs, and that was a loaded field. Mind Frame, Nisos, Bookham, Dano. You just go down the list. Great horses all up and down that race. And again, he was second in that one in a very close second, only beating the neck for first. All that kind of story to say, if this was a one-turn race, he's my pick, and I'll go on, and I don't think a whole lot about it. That's how much I think, or how much of him I think. But when you go a mile and a 16th, and especially a mile and an eighth, I'm not sure. It kind of brings into question, can he get it? Is he as effective? We know he can get it, but is he as effective going long? It makes me worry quite a bit. Now, Flavian Pratt gets aboard for this one. I thought that was interesting. Flavian was aboard at Oaklawn, but was not aboard the last couple of races. But he is aboard here at Oaklawn, or like he was at Oaklawn for the Oaklawn Mile and the Razorback. So, look, I think if he can get the mile and an eighth, a little bit better than he did in the Oaklawn Handicap, I think he wins. If not, I'm a little bit worried. So we'll see what happens with Banishing here. Let's keep going. A horse that I love quite a bit, the number 9 Post Time, a Mid-Atlantic horse that rattled off several wins last year and then went to the Carter at Aqueduct and won, was second in the Westchester at Belmont at the Big A, second in the Met Mile. He finished third in the Whitney. You could just see he's just hitting the board in these big races. Went back to Laurel and dominated. Breeders' Cup Mile, second. Cigar Mile, third. And then a prep race last time out at Laurel and Allowance. Now, here's the question. He's outside of Laurel. Is he going to run one of those races where we go, holy cow, that was a really good race, but he's going to get second? And that's my worry, where I'm not going to put him on top here. I'm just going to kind of play him underneath. If he wins, I'll probably lose, but I'll be happy because I do really like him. But can he break through and actually win a race like that? I'm not quite sure. And then finally, the number 10, Tennessee Lamb, coming off of a win last time out in the Ben Ali. That was not a very strong race that day, but he did win it. Give him credit there. That was his second straight victory. Look, for me, he's not the one I'm going to play on top. I wouldn't be shocked if he hits the board. I just think this is a much tougher field than what he's been facing. I also don't think he's going to get that desired trip that he got the last couple of races. I think he's going to shuffle a little bit too far back. So Tennessee Lamb, not for me in this spot, but I respect him. And like I said, winners of his last 3 on the dirt. The one loss of the last 4 has been on the turf. All right, that's the field of 10 here. What a race. I love this race. It's an incredible race. There's no doubt about it. I look to the 6, the 7, and the 8. I think one of those three are going to win. That's Hall of Fame, Most Wanted, and Banishing. And because of the distance, I'm going to go with Most Wanted over Banishing and Hall of Fame here. I thought the race last time out for Most Wanted was beautiful. And like I said, I thought for a second he's going to win. He ran within a length and a half of Fierceness. I think Fierceness would win this race if he was here. So I'm going to go Most Wanted, the 7 horse, on top to win this one. I think Banishing, the 8, is the best horse. I just don't know at this distance if he's going to be the best horse. So give me the 7. Most Wanted to win this year's running of the Blame Stakes. All right, guys, hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerting time we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Churchill Downs on Saturday.